Eleanor Brunetto, and I am a Chief Nurse Advisor for the Metawh Province Hospital, which is located in the Mekong Delta. I am from Johnstown, New York, and for the past 10 years, I have been associated with the Westchester County Department of Health, where I was a supervising public health nurse. Although I was the only American nurse in Metawh upon my arrival, I was very fortunate to be able to work with the Philippine surgical team. Later, we were fortunate to have an American hospital administrator specialist who helped us with our supplies. And as the work began to grow, we finally had United States volunteer physicians for Vietnam who have been very helpful in our programs. And finally the day arrived that I was waiting for. A nurse came to Metawh to help me in my work. And in the past month, 3 nurses have arrived. And to date, we have 3 American nurses on staff as well as a nurse advisor. In the very beginning, my job seemed like a tremendous one. We were faced with many, many problems. They had no supplies such as soap, mops, syringes, thermometers, so we had to start from scratch. We began, first of all, in teaching cleanliness and sanitation. And as a result, we were able to persuade the hospital staff to mop floors daily. We also were able to get some soap. We now have more water through the renovations and rehabilitations of the hospital. We now have towels and basins. And as a result, you'll find that the nursing service in this hospital has improved so very much. As well, we have now a supply of syringes so that we can use 1 syringe and 1 needle for each patient. Previously, we only had 2 syringes or so for about 60 to 70 patients. Thermometers were almost not available whatsoever. They may have had 1 or 2 thermometers for a complete ward. We now have established a routine where temperatures are taken at least twice daily. Sterile supplies were not available for the wards whatsoever. The wounds that were treated were not cleaned properly. No sterile supplies or dressings were applied to the wounds. As a result, we organized a complete central supply room. And fortunately now we can say that we can supply the entire hospital with sterile dressings and other sterile supplies and equipment. We have been very concerned about the nursing service and care of patients in this hospital. Because of lack of personnel and lack of understanding and utilizing personnel, nursing service on a 24-hour basis was lacking. Through the efforts combined with the nurse advisor and the Vietnamese staff, we now have been able to establish 8-hour nursing shifts on a 24-hour basis on 4 wards, namely the emergency room, the recovery room, the female surgical ward, and the post-operative ward, as well as the pediatric ward. We have been waiting for quite a while to have a classroom that we could use for classes. Fortunately, since the renovations of the hospital, we have a small classroom, and we hold 2 classes weekly, at which time we discuss medical and surgical nursing. Our American doctors have participated in the teaching as well as the nurse advisor. The Vietnamese staff have been very eager to learn English, and as an incentive, the Vietnamese government have promised to raise their salary if they learned English. As a result, we have held daily English classes for the staff who are interested. These staff have had very little training in nursing. As a result, it has been necessary to have ward classes to work with these people, some of them even individually or collectively. We've had demonstrations on the ward, and as a result, we have found a tremendous change in the kinds of dressings and treatments that are given to patients. Due to the lack of sanitation and immunization programs or adequate water facilities, we find certain conditions here that we ordinarily would not experience or see in the United States. We have seen patients with typhoid and with tetanus, plague, and cholera. And to date, there are many programs that we hope will alleviate some of these problems. There was no blood bank in this particular hospital, but in the past year we have organized a blood bank, and as a result we do have blood available, but of course it still is inadequate to take care of all of the patients that need it. Actually, on this job, you are everything. You are a ward nurse, a head nurse, supervisor, teacher, administrator, and you just can keep busy every minute of the day. The Vietnamese continually ask for our help. They have a great deal of confidence in what we do and what we say. They have asked for additional staff, and some of the things that we have done may seem very little to us, but to the Vietnamese they are big things, and they are very proud of their accomplishments. I've been in the My Tho Province Hospital for over 21 months, and has been the most gratifying experience that I have ever had.